Right, okay, today we are going to be jumping into two games. First of all, we're going to be playing a game called Adrift, which is a game that I'll be open and transparent about. I'm currently working on it. It is a kind of off-road vaporwave kind of driving adventure game, so there's a bit of exploration. The idea behind it is that you explore an area and you're trying to take the energy core from one part of the map to the other. So you need to kind of find your own way. You can't have the energy core with you all the time though, because there's a risk of the energy core detonating in the desert heat. So we'll go with that first, and then we're going to have a look at Lush Foil Photography Simulator, which is a game that I played at an X-Fest demo either this year or last year, and it's out now, and I thought it would be good. We're going to learn how to take some pretty photos, and I've also got a machine that can finally like run it and kind of do it justice, so I'm hoping that that works alright. But I hope you've had a good week so far. It's Friday, we've made it. I wrapped up one of my contracts this week. We've been working on Star Vaders since August actually, so yeah, had been really head down in that. I'm kind of freeing up a little bit of my time, which is quite nice. But yeah, we'll jump into Adrift first, and I'll play this on controller and we'll go from that. So I'm just gonna quickly chuck on Adrift there. Hopefully you'll be able to see that on screen. So it's kind of leaning into that like vaporwave sort of aesthetic. It's the demo released yesterday, so you can go and check it out yourselves after this, and you can also wishlist it. So I'm going to jump in. Across the Elbe Vitus laid a city, beaming with the light of towering hologram projections. They were the last humans, the final step as they had invented happiness. Once the valley's resources depleted, they resorted to the import of energy cores, but dwellers had grown contempt and saw the transport as too dangerous and bothersome. There was a handful living in solitude outside, skilled in navigating its chaos and unknowns. Only they were able to transport a core through the scorching land without it overheating. These outsiders, simply known as drifters, were the one cog keeping this machine running. Find the city, the heart of these lands, and deliver the energy core. There you go. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we've got lore. So we're going to jump in and go and have a wee explore. Also, before I get started, what you'll see is that I have changed my chat. So chat should now be quite nice. Thank you very much to Toasted Stars in particular for recommending a new chat function that we have directly under the camera there. And I'll just quickly show you this as well. It changes size depending on what thing I'm in. That's pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully that does the job, and we're no longer concerned about chat appearing or not appearing on stream. But anyway, right off the bat, you'll see that this game has a bit of a kind of vaporwavy nature to it. We've got a filter that's kind of given a nice tone to the world, and we are driving this car. We've got a nice little dust trail that is taking us through the world as we see fit, and we can bank round corners and get a good little bit of drift going. But yeah, this is kind of the first section of the game, the kind of prologue. So we're just getting used to the driving, nice and gentle. This is supposed to be a chill experience, and I will say it's developed by one person. So I'm working with the dev Stefan, who's been working hard at this for a good wee while. But yeah, it's quite nice because you've got that kind of mixture of serene exploration, and you'll have a little bit of a rush when you want to get the energy core down. Hey Joy, how you doing? Welcome in. You're just in time to watch my superior driving skills. Like I'm the drift king. Did any of you ever watch Video Game High School when you were younger? I'm not sure if that's a very niche reference or whether it was a bit more mainstream than I thought it was. But if any of you ever watched the series Video Game High School, there was someone called the Drift King in that. The forest, the trees shade as a street of shadow cloaks, that lost place, a forgotten land that knows no cold. So Stefan, who makes the game, is a bit of a poet as well. You've got no tornadoes yet today. Well, that's always a good sign. I love this tunnel section here. It's really nice. And we've got some fancy camera work that shows us our destination. We're going to be aiming to get to that port over there. I will say this game is also inspired by, and this is actually a new thing for me. I didn't really know about it at all until I started learning what the inspiration for the game was, but there's a thing called the Dakar Rally, and that's like a kind of off-road event, like a driving event that takes place a lot of the time in Europe and a little bit in the Middle East as well. But basically it's driving from, I think there's been points where it's like Paris to, you know, somewhere in the kind of Sahara, and it's quite I think it's quite an emotional journey for a lot of people that take part in it, even with the driving. Obviously I've done things like the West Highland Way, which from like a hiking experience can be quite a emotional experience going through that side of things. And I think the Dakar Rally is that for people who are massive fans of driving. The colour scheme is very soothing, yeah, and we're leaning into that kind of like vaporwave, synthwave type music as well. Now, one thing that you'll probably notice is that the energy core has a timer. So I'm currently halfway there. I need to try and make it to the port before that reaches reaches the end. LB Vitus, imagine before technology opened our eyes, this port was the spring of life. Thankfully, we have since realised the materialistic era's demise. Oh, there we go. I love the bit of swantailing the drift trail does when you drift around the corners, like doing this swishy swishy with a nice dress skirt. Yeah, it's nice. I always love the kind of stream that comes off the back of it. So it's not just the dust trail, it's the little wisps of light, which is also really nice. And I'll try my best not to crash. There's not really a risk of damaging the energy core or anything, it'll just obviously slow you down, and we're wanting to get to the ferry to board it before we go. But yeah, that's the first section done. So again, that's quite linear, but that's more to get used to the driving. And if you happen to go and look at the Steam page for this, you might see a familiar face doing the Steam broadcast for it. Which is the little kind of video section of the kind of developers kind of playing the game when you do it. But yeah, the demo's live, so if you want to go and play the demo yourself, you can check it out there. So this is the section where we can park up, and we can actually leave the energy core behind at these cooling stations, which is quite cool. And you can see you've kind of got these like holographic ancient pillars, which have like a pretty funky effect on them. But yeah, that allows us to basically continue. So I can go and scout out what's going on here. And this game doesn't just take place on roads. We can go off roads as well. Yeah, very, very charming person doing the Steam broadcast for this. Driving skills are impeccable, I think. Don't crash once, and just all in all, just very skilled, talented even. So we're going to go this way. We're going to have a wee look down here, and you can see, so there's like kind of off-road bits to explore. And this is really just about kind of finding your own path. You know, there's no time limit because I don't have the energy core with me at the moment. I can just go for a little bit of a drive and see what's going on. And sometimes you'll come across satellites, and you'll notice that like up until now there hasn't really been any, there hasn't been any map. There's no map on the HUD or anything. So it's a wee bit like, some of you might have seen me play Ancestors, or you might have seen my video essay on Ancestors. And one of the things I loved about that game was that there was no map, and you had to kind of like paint a mental picture and build that up as you drove around. So we saw from that map there that there's a cooling station further up ahead. It means that I can travel back to the energy core. I can pick that up, and I know that I can like safely make my way to the next cooling station. So you'll be travelling across like different environments and stuff like that and having a good time. And again, just really peaceful. You know, you can either play with friends and have a chat about it, or you can play it in it is a single player game, obviously. When I say play it with friends, you can play it with friends watching, but it's a single player game and you can just take your time and chill out. There's also optional poems that you can find as well, so you can check that out. But now I've got the energy core, so there's a little bit of time pressure, nothing major. That blue bar, the blue circle's going to fill up, but I think we should be able to make it to the next cooling station in time. There's not that much of an issue with that at all. So we'll drive along here, and I'm going to get my drifting down, see if we can make some really nice arcs. If my driving's up to the test, which it is not at the moment. The road's a little bit bumpy too. Nice, so that is us. We can get to this cooling station here, and I will say that obviously you don't need to always drive back to the cooling station. You can teleport. I'm saying that down the bottom right, that basically you can hold up on the D-pad and you'll teleport back to the previous cooling station you were at, or the one that has the energy core. Anyway, this is the meadows. The lush green hills roll through the district. Harmony still flows throughout the region. I have seen roads follow its creases, and in turn I followed them for no reason. Breezing through the fields defined freedom. I'd even drive at night when I closed my eyes, dreaming, pulled ever closer by the city's light. I was drawn north, where I'd leave these meadows behind. So that might give you a hint of where we'll be going. I think north is probably the place to head, but we'll go along these roads. And again, we can kind of take it at our own pace, which is nice. The meadows are very pretty. It's got some nice flowers there. And where this game will like change is like it'll open up a lot more further down the line. So at the moment, this is just the demo section that maybe has a little bit of the training wheels on. So we'll go and explore. And we can drive out to what looks like a beach. Very nice. And pick up this. Repair supplies. Throughout the world you'll be able to find supplies with an empty cargo bay. You can collect and deliver them to a broken structure to repair it. So you can also do a little bit of repairing of the world as you drive. You don't necessarily have to, but it might be a way that you can open up a shortcut so that your driving of the energy core to the next area will be a bit faster and you minimise the risk of exploding, which is always good. You should try and minimise your risk to explode at every available opportunity, both in the game and in real life. And you can see here that we've got a broken bridge, so we can now repair that and we can now safely cross. Look at us go. So we're going to go and see about maybe finding the next cooling tower, because I want to make sure that I'm able to make the drive. And we can go left here. I like that you've got these like big open turns to really get your drifting down. Nice. That was clean. That was a clean drift if there ever was one. Sweet, and you can see here that we have the next cooling station. Nice. So yeah, there's a wee bit of like a kind of push and pull. I'm going to also like continue out this way, but maybe if I circle back to the bridge and I realise that I've kind of known my way, I'll be able to teleport back to that cooling tower. But it looks like there's another whole path that's leading me away from that cooling tower in particular. So we'll go this way and I'll crash right into that wall because I'm too busy narrating what I'm trying to do. Let's go this way. Can do a little bit of off-road as well. Anyway, what are the plans that we all have for this weekend? What are we up to? Last weekend for me was quite busy, so this weekend I am intending on doing nothing. Ah, cool. So we see we've got a map here. So there was the bridge in the bottom left that we did repair, and then there's like a cooling tower, which was the one that we landed on. There's another cooling tower further up there, and there's also a path to the right. So what we'll do is we'll kind of sweep around this way. And we'll follow this road to the right. And when we maybe get back to the cooling tower, we'll just change this. Ah, what's that? Let's go here. Ah, another poem. Patience. But if the quiet bison ever grows silent, buckle down and sacrifice convenience. Stand times, test trials and tribulations. Dawn always follows nightfall in sequence. Nice. Suspension's almost as bouncy as original Warthogs. I mean, yeah, that's cool. I do like the suspension in this, actually. Allows you to be properly off-road. You're working this weekend. I hope it goes quite quick for you. Are you working, is it like an early start, or are you working late into the evening? What's the plan? Evening shift at hospital. Right, I hope it goes quickly for you. Oh, we're doing some proper off-road stuff here. Oh, I found another poem. Nice. Blinding light. What do you want to find when love and beauty blind? Close your eyes, close the blinds, we only dream at night. A lighthouse guides the blind, yet blinds the guide inside. Does beauty only reside inside that eye that is blind? So all of these are written by the developer of the game, as far as I'm aware. So Stefan's actually a car mechanic turned game dev. So bringing the kind of the car experience right from his past career. Hey Tundra, how you doing? Thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. I'm actually going to teleport back to the cooling tower. I will say before I go on, I have been drinking out this can. Everyone that I've been drinking it on calls when I've been at work as well, and I realised that it doesn't really make it obvious that this is sparkling water. It's liquid death. I ended up buying like a full thing of it. There was like 12 cans for £3 at Lidl, so I ended up buying some. It's the severed lime flavour, and yeah, it's quite a good laugh. But yeah, it just makes it look like I've been drinking beer on calls for like, you know, the past couple of weeks. There's my hydrate. I'll also do a stretch just for you, Katie. Thank you very much for checking out my posture. I say checking out my posture, looking after my posture. Anyway, because we've got the energy core now, we can start to make our way. And we can cross that bridge, and we can maybe try and get some nice drifting on the go. Look at us. Nice arcs there. And I think the bridge, if we turn right here, we'll be able to go up. Of course, with sparkling water, it's filled with fucking gas, so you just get dead burpy. That's always fun. Try not to burp down the microphone at all of you. That's not sexy at all. So, sweep round this corner. Very nice. And big loop. How's things been going with yourself, Katie? You been doing good? And there we go there. And good. Give me the biggest burp possible and you'll rate it like the Olympics. Just like, just imagine your little tens. Nice. So we also know the next area, so we're going to kind of make some headway to that. I think it was this way if we follow the path. And then we're going right here a little bit. And then left. And then left again. Nice. good post-surgery, so you feel like someone took a blender to your innie, which yeah did happen, but manageable and such. I'm glad that it went well. Innards, not any innards. No, that's cool. Hope you're feeling better, and hope you're relaxing as much as possible, getting all that rest to recuperate. Okay, we'll park up here, and we'll go for our next explore. We'll take the energy core with us. We'll do a little bit of a drive. So let's go this path. And oh, perfect. Oh, nice. Can we keep on the road? We can. We can keep on the road. We're just that good. Tell you what, it would be pretty fun to just like drive openly amongst like sand dunes and stuff that can, like, you can just have a good time with it. Only thing I would say is it might be a little bit too hot. I think that's the only downside. If I was in a car kind of racing across the Sahara, it might be a little bit warm. Considering that I'm struggling with 26 degrees at the moment, which is the current temperature in my room, which is horrible, and no one should ever have to experience that ever. Anything above 17 degrees is actually really bad. So yeah, that's my thought on temp. Can we donut? We can. Almost. And we'll jump into the schooling station. And that is us. That is the demo for Adrift. So if you want to play the demo yourself, and obviously there's a bit more of the world to explore, this was kind of like the first section of the game, and the game's going to be split into like a whole bunch of parts. So that was like the meadows, whereas there's going to be like cityscapes and you know, like other areas to drive through, like lush forests and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, do check it out. I will quickly jump back to just chatting, but yeah, if you want to check out the game at all, I will drop the link to the store page here. Also, if you like the look of it, do give it a wish list. Again, just to be transparent, this is a game that I'm working on. I think it's a good time. Vaporwave tunes, driving away, kind of serenity of the desert. Good for like a chill time.